Okay, now we will see some interesting thing in SharePoint Online Document Library, which is known as the document set feature. If you'll see here, there are two things we have. For example, we have the folders, and we have the new feature that come is document sets. Now, before going to document set, let me give you an example. Um, let's say we want to store the vendor registration documents. So it can have a vendor contract document, monthly undertaking document, vendor code declaration, yearly undertaking. So these are kind of the documents that you required for a vendor to register. Now there can be multiple vendors. So let's say there's a vendor called Microsoft, there's a vendor called Google, vendor called Yahoo, Twitter. So let's say these are the vendors and you require all these documents for them. Now what option you have? You can create folders. Let's say I'll create a folder on Microsoft and I will store everything on that. If you will, or if I want, I will create a folder for Yahoo and I'll do everything for that vendor. I'll keep all these documents. And then at the same time, we require the data here, metadata like vendor name, email address, vendor contact number, vendor expiry date, all these things we require. These are the metadata for the vendor. Now, so you have one option that you will create a folder and you will store everything on that. So let's say you will create for Microsoft, you will create for Google, you will create for the company. The other option we have is the new feature called as document sets. Now the document set, what is a document set? It is a group of related documents that you can manage as a single entity. For example, in this case, all these documents are actually, if you'll see here, it is related to all this on the vendor registration process. And what is the advantages that you are going to get if you are using document set compared to the folders? So if I'll just tell in a simple word, it will be having the folders and the metadata, which is combinedly called as a document set. When you will actually do the demo, you'll be able to understand that. But first, let's now try to understand things, what you are actually getting. We can actually customize the UI of a welcome page. So when you will actually use a document set, you will have a UI page or a welcome page where you can customize this. Then document set allow you to add columns. So in that you can add columns, and then also you can trigger workflow for that if you are using workflow, and easily you can change the bulk amount of metadata. So what is the data that we retrieve here? For example, in this case, it is the vendor name, email address, or the contact number. And overall, your document set is a content type. So we can apply the permission to each document content type. We can add the data over there. We can add the metadata onto that. So we can take the advantages of all these things which we can take as a content type. So now let me open the SharePoint site. If I'll open the SharePoint site here, you can see here this is our product site, and here we want to create a document library, and on that we will store all these documents. So for this I will click on add an app, and then we will create a document library here. So I'll select the document library. I will say vendor registration documents, and or I will simply give vendors. Let's say we will give this way vendors. I'll click on create. So if you'll see here, we now have a document library which is known as vendors. So if you'll see here, this is the document library. Now here I have the option which actually where I can create a folder. So if you'll see here, I'll create a folder on Microsoft, a folder on any other vendor, and we can store the related documents. Now we will see how we can use the document set. First of all, document set is a feature that we need to activate it. So it's a site collection feature. So I'll go to the site information, and then if you'll see here, you'll come down, then you'll see here view all site settings. In this, if you'll go to the site collection administration, you can see here site collection features. In the site collection features, if you'll come down, then you can see here there is a document set feature which is not activated. Click on activate button, and once you click on this, it will get activated. So you can see here this is activated now, and once it is activated, then we can see we can use this in the content type. So what I'll do here is I will now go to the site settings page, and we will create a content type. So for example, I'll go to the site content type, you can see here, and on this I will click on create, and we will create a content type as, let's say, vendors content type. I'll just keep the name as vendor content type city like this, and I will select document set content type. You can see here there's a content type of parent content type document set is available. I'll select that, and I will add into, let it be in the custom content type section, else you can create a group and you can add it. I'll click on OK. So once you click on OK, we have our uh, content type is ready now. So if you'll see here, we have the content type. Now we will create the site columns, and we'll add all these site columns on that. What are those site columns? These are the site columns that we required. This vendor name, vendor email, vendor contact number, and this one. So I will create all these site columns. So I'll go to the site settings page again. I'll just open the site settings page. You can see here this is the site settings page. Click on site column, and then we can create site columns for that, because remember we cannot add normal columns or any columns like in list we create columns directly. To a content type we cannot add directly like that. So I'll have to create the site columns. You can see here, click on create, and if you'll see here, I will copy this vendor name single line of text, and we will add into the TS info site columns. I'll click on OK. So if you'll see here, we have added now. Similarly, I will create all other columns. So I have created the columns. If I will go to the TS info site columns group, you can see here we have the vendor email, vendor contact number, vendor expiry date, and then vendor name. So these 4 columns I have added. Now once we have added this, I'll go to my content type. So I'll go to the site content type section, and then here we can go to the custom content types, because that is what the groups we have selected, and this is our content type. So I'll click on that, and then we will add our metadata into that. So those site columns, I'll click on add from existing site column, and here I will select TS info site columns, and I will add the columns. First thing is the vendor name, vendor email, vendor contact number, and vendor date, and I'll click on OK. So these are the columns that we have added here. You can see here now this content type has a title column, name, description, then vendor name, vendor email, contact number, and expiry date. Remember, now once you have added this, click on this document set settings. If you'll click on document set settings, then come down, and here it is showing the shared columns. So select which columns values for the document set should automatically sync to all the documents contained in the document library. That means, let us say in our document set there are 5 documents we have uploaded. So whatever the columns I'll select here, those properties will be sync with all the documents. So I will select vendor name, email, and expiry date. You can see here, and this is one section where you can see it is saying what are the columns that you want in the welcome page. So in the welcome page we want the vendor name, vendor email, vendor contact number, and vendor expiry date. Let's say these 4 columns we required. Now click on OK. The moment you will click on OK, I will go back now to the document library. So the library, you can see here the library name is vendors. You can see here this is the library that we have created. Now on this, basically if I'll go to the library settings page, now we can add our content type. So for that, I'll go to the advanced settings and we have to first enable the content type. The moment I'll enable it to yes, I'll click on OK. And then if you'll see here, there is a content type section is there. So I will click on add from existing site content type because we have already created our content type. And here I will select custom content type and this is our vendors. You can see here, click on OK. So once you click on OK, this content type is now available in our library. So I'll go to the vendors now, and here if you click on new, you can see here there is a vendors content type is there. If you'll click on that, so it will ask us couple of things. One thing in the name, description, and these are the columns, the metadata that we have added. So I will say, let's say Microsoft, and here vendor name is Microsoft Corporation, and let's say it is hello @ Microsoft.com, and similarly contact number is something, and the expiry date, let's say it is till 23rd. I'll click on save. So once you click on save, you can see here there is a Microsoft is created. Now on this we can see the properties here, all these things you can see here. It is in the modern library. You can see here this is a modern library. But what we can do is, if I will go to now to the classic library, you can see here I just move to the classic library. When you will actually go to the classic library, you can be able to see in details. Uh, if you'll see here, this is the columns that we selected, and we said that these are the columns it should come in the welcome page. Now these are actually the columns, or this is the welcome page for Microsoft. Now on this, if I will go here, I will edit the page. Then you can see here it is a image web part. So you can see here I will edit the web part, and here we can actually change this background. So if you'll see here, there's a background that it is there. Now to upload some logo, I will open this site in another tab. You can see here, this is another tab. Here I will go to the site content page, and I will go to the site asset library, and we will just upload some logos here. So I will just go here and I will upload some logo into that. Let me go to the download section. So if you'll see here, actually these are the logos. So I'll just copy it. So I just copied the path, and I will now go to the welcome page. You can see here, I will just put this one. I'll click on OK. Now if you'll see here, there's a Microsoft logo came on this. You can see here on this particular, you can have a small logo, but you can see here now it has the welcome page has a logo and the details here, and you can actually upload the documents here. So if I'll go here, I'll go to the desktop, I'll upload some documents, like let's say vendor agreement for this one, and you can see here by default this properties has been there. Just click on save. So similarly, if I'll upload one more document here, all this related to Microsoft documents, let's say, and then you will see here all these documents in this particular document library, sorry, in this particular document set have the same properties. So you can see here all these have the same properties. Now similarly, if I'll go to the vendor library again, and here I will create, let's say we want to register one more vendor, I will go here, we will say Google, and I'll put the same thing here, hello @ google.com. You can see here I'll put in number, and let's say it is this one. I'll click on save, and when you will click on save, so you can see here we actually, I think we click on that icon, But if we'll go here, now we can edit this and we can actually change the logo here. So we will set the logo for Google itself. So you can see here, I'll put it here. I'll click on OK. So now if we'll see here, we can have actually the small logos. It is just, it took a lot more space on that. But if we'll see now, these are actually the logos, or these are actually, you can see here there's a logo, there's a details, and you can see here, you will be able to upload all the documents. And now if I'll go to the vendors list, you can see here you have one for Google, where you will have all your vendor related documents inside that. And similarly we'll be having Microsoft, and all the related documents will be for that one. And we can share all these properties. So whatever the properties available on that particular content type, if I will show you that vendor content type, so all these properties will be available for the document set. So this is how actually we can create a document set and we can use it. So rather than creating the folders, we should always create a document set, and you can in short you should create the document set and then you can store the related documents.